Hi, third graders. Today our I can statement is I can relay the plot of a story. To relay something means to say it or to give it. So I can give the plot of a story. I can say the plot of a story. Plot, if we can see my little poster here with the rabbit and turtle. Well, it's probably the tortoise and the hare, huh? It says, the plot is the series of events in a story. So if we remember, series of events are the steps of a story, right? So first I did this, next I did this, lastly, things like that. So the plot is the series of events of a story, which means the plot is just what happened in the beginning, what happened in the middle, what happened in the end. That's all a plot is. Very easy, right? When we write about a plot of a story, we also want to address the problem and solution in the story. Every writing is going to have a problem and a solution. Every single story, okay? So the problem is what goes wrong, what needs to be fixed in the story. The solution is how the problem is fixed, how it's solved. So it's kind of cause and effect, right? Yeah, pretty simple. Okay, so when you write a plot, you want to ask yourself, what happened in the story? That's going to help you write down the main things, because like this says right here, the plot is made up of the main events of a story. It's like a summary. I don't need to know all the little tiny things that happened, right? I only need to know the big main things, the things that you remember most from the story. That's what plot is. Okay guys, so in order to remember plot and what it is and what it needs when we write it, I have this fun little poem rhyme, okay? I'm going to say it a few times, just me. I'll say it 3 times by myself, and then you guys will come in for 2 more times, okay? Oh, sorry, you can't even see my fingers. 3 times by myself, 2 times with you. Here we go. Hopefully you can read it. It might be a little small. Do your best. Beginning to middle, middle to end, the plot of the story is what has happened. The plot is the journey, the plot is the fun, the plot is the problem and solution. Again. Beginning to middle, middle to end, the plot of the story is what has happened. The plot is the journey, the plot is the fun, the plot is the problem and solution. Again. Beginning to middle, middle to end, the plot of the story is what has happened. The plot is the journey, the plot is the fun, the plot is the problem and solution. Now you come in, here we go. Beginning to middle, middle to end, the plot of the story is what has happened. The plot is the journey, the plot is the fun, the plot is the problem and solution. One more time, beginning to middle, middle to end, the plot of the story is what has happened. The plot is the journey, the plot is the fun, the plot is the problem and solution. Okay, I don't know, that rhyme was fun, so I wanted to do it. But yeah, I think this will help you if you ever are asked to write the plot of a story. Just remember, okay, beginning to middle, middle to end, the plot of the story is what has happened. And you can just sing it in your head and you can write a great plot, okay? Oh, sometimes I try to press the pause button and it doesn't press, so that's a little awkward. Okay, so something else we've talked about, this is for summarizing, but it works great with plot too. When you write a plot, all you need to do is somebody wanted, but so then. Okay, super simple. Somebody, who is the main character? Who is it? Wanted, what did they want? Where did they want to go? What did they want to do? What did they want? But is the problem. Oh, sorry, I'm not very good writing at this angle, so that's a little ugly, but oh well. But is the problem, so is the solution. Right? Because it's kind of like, well, but this happened, so I did this. Simple, right? Then, what happened in the end? So, beginning, somebody wanted, middle, but so, the problem and solution, end, then. So, I'm going to read a story, and then let's write a plot together, okay? I wanted to use a story that we're super familiar with. We love this book, Puff the Magic Dragon, right? We love it, we know it. We're going to be able to write a great plot. Let's read it really quick, and then we can write our plot, okay? Oh, man. My camera is backwards, so when I want to go this way, I'm trying to go this way. It's weird. All right, Puff the Magic Dragon. Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolly. Little Jackie Paper loved that rascal Puff, and brought him strings and sealing wax and other fancy stuff. Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea, and frolicked in an autumn mist in a land called Honolly. Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea, and frolicked in an autumn mist in a land called Honolly. Together they would travel on a boat with billowed sails. Jackie kept a lookout perched on Puff's gigantic tail. Noble kings and princes would bow whene'er they came. Whene'er means whenever. Yeah. Pirate ships would lower their flags when Puff roared out his name. Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea, and frolicked in an autumn mist in a land called Honolly. Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea, and frolicked in an autumn mist in a land called Honolly. A dragon lives forever, but not so little boys. Painted wings and giant's rings make way for other toys. One gray night it happened, Jackie Paper came no more, and Puff that mighty dragon, he ceased his fearless roar. His head was bent in sorrow, green scales fell like rain. Puff no longer went to play along the cherry lane. Without his lifelong friend, Puff could not be brave, so Puff that mighty dragon sadly slipped into his cave. Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea, and frolicked in an autumn mist in a land called Honolly. Puff the Magic Dragon lived by the sea, and frolicked in an autumn mist in a land called Honolly. Okay, I know some of you guys like me to sing that one, so I will post in our read-alouds. I will have a sing-along with this, okay? But we know this story, we read it again just today. Let's write the plot of this story, okay? I wish you guys were here so I could ask you questions and get your feedback, but I can't, so I'm going to pretend to ask you questions, and then I'll try and think about what you might say, okay? Somebody. Who is the main character in this story? Whose name is continually said? Who is the one who's in all of the pictures? Who's our main character? Yes, Puff. And to add some detail to our sentence, we can call him Puff the Magic Dragon. So, somebody. Okay, so I've started out with Puff the Magic Dragon wanted. What did he want? Because wanted is our next. What did the main character want? Yeah, he wanted to play with Jackie Paper forever, right? That's what he wanted more than anything. Okay, so Puff the Magic Dragon wanted to play with Jackie Paper forever. We've got somebody and wanted. So this sentence right here, this first sentence, is our beginning sentence. We're off to a great start. Now we have to go to the but so. So our next sentence is going to start with sadly. Sadly, what is our problem? Why can he not do what he wants? Yeah, Jackie Paper grows up, right? So we have to write, sadly, Jackie Paper grew up. All right, our next section is the so. That is the solution to our problem. That is, what does the main character do in response to the problem? What is the effect of the problem? What does Puff do? Yeah, he sadly goes into his cave and he doesn't come out anymore, right? Yeah, so we're going to say so. Puff hides in his cave and is sad. Oh, I tried to press the pause again. I hate it when I do that. All right, so far we've got a really good plot going for us. We've got to do our last sentence. So we have our beginning sentence. We have our middle. We have two sentences for the middle, the sadly and the so. And let's have one more sentence for the end of the story. What is the end of the story? What happens? And in this one, it's kind of tricky because it doesn't actually say it in the words, does it? We just have to look at the pictures and figure out what happens. Yeah, he meets a new girl and has a new friend to play with, right? We don't know her name. What should we call her? Let's call her, How about Finley? I was going to name Quinn Finley if he was a girl, so we'll call her Finley. So we write, in the end, Puff meets a little girl and has a new friend. I couldn't fit new, but just pretend there's new right there. And we know that her name's Finley, even though no one else does. Okay, so here's our plot, the whole story. We wrote about the main things that happened, the beginning, the middle, the end. Let's read our whole plot. Puff the Magic Dragon wanted to play with Jackie Paper forever. Beginning. Sadly, Jackie Paper grew up, so Puff goes into his cave and is sad. Middle. In the end, Puff meets a little girl and has a new friend. End. So we've written the beginning, the middle, and the end, only the important parts, and now we've got a great plot outlined for us. Great job, guys. Okay, so now I'm going to have you write about the plot of the story we read this week. It is an informational text, so it's going to be a little different, but just do your best. We're going to be continuing to do plot for the rest of the weeks of school, okay? Just do your best, and then next week we'll read a new story and do a different plot, okay? You guys did great. I love the story. I hope you guys love it, and if you want me to sing it, it'll be on the other in read alouds. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.